going on, guys? Welcome. Oh, you're just looking at the pigs. Welcome back to the farm. We snuck away for a little bit. So we were gone for a week over Memorial Day. Took a little vacation. Always important to get away. It's tough sometimes when you have an operating farm and you got all sorts of critters running around, but we were fortunate enough to have some coverage here. Some things we've put in place to also help kind of automate our processes a little. But needless to say, we were gone for the week, and now, well, as you can imagine, it's time to play some catch up. So let's take a walk around. I got the little one on my back tonight. We're just gonna walk around, see what's going on the farm. And let me tell you guys, in just a week, the amount of growth we've had as far as grass and weeds and our fence lines all need trimmed. We got some work to do. So let's see what we can get into tonight. We'll do a simple round of the farm and show you guys what's going on a little bit. So anytime you go away, you have to plan accordingly, making sure, you can see the pigs here in the background just eating away, but you want to plan accordingly. We had the help of my dad here who lives literally right up the road, so he's able to take care of most of the farm for us. But you still want to plan to avoid any losses. Obviously, your animals are going to be your first concern. Our pigs here, are they going to have enough water? Turns out that, and I'm getting eaten alive already tonight. Turns out that our pig waterer is not working, well, as much as I wanted it to be. So he made sure there was some extra water. We did have some warmer days. Pigs drink a ton of water, if you guys don't know that. So that's really the main concern I have when we go away, is just making sure our pigs have the water. Anything else I'm not too concerned about. Our sheep, they're raised 100% on grass, so as long as they have fresh greens, they'll be good. We put them in this pasture a little over a week ago. You can see there's still tons of stuff in here grazing away. I'll get them out of here soon. This is where the pigs were last year when we raised them out. So I'll get them out of here soon, get them into a new pasture. The amount of growth we've had, like I said in the intro, has been outrageous. We don't have enough animals to keep up with the growth right now. So you might as well turn them and burn them, get some of this grass mowed down. As far as sheep water, very minimal. Again, we had help here, so we were able to keep fresh water. But honestly, guys, if you went away for a few days and sheep didn't have water, nothing is going to happen to them. Most of the time, they don't even touch the water. Our chickens, we just did a couple of videos on them. Very, very independent. As long as there's water around, which we have a creek bed running right down below our fence line here, they'll find it, they'll drink out of it. They can drink out of the pig water, so no concerns there. Leads me to my second biggest concern, and this we had a little bit of trouble with while we were gone this week. Our garden, if you don't have somebody to water your garden, that could potentially be, a problem. In our instance, it was just simply we fell behind. We didn't get our fence in, and about, maybe 20 plus tomato plants completely gone, vanished. I don't know what happened to them. My first thought was maybe rabbits, but then the more I'm reading, the more I'm kind of looking into that. Rabbits, I'm actually seeing that tomato plants can potentially be poisonous to rabbits. I don't know how true that is. So I'm actually thinking it might be from a groundhog. I have electric netting around it. It would be hard for me to believe that a groundhog would go through that. A rabbit obviously definitely could, but you never know. So if that's the worst thing that happened, we lost some tomato plants, well, I guess you got to chalk that up as a W. You're going to take a risk when you're going away. Obviously you could stay on your farm, and that's probably the easiest thing to do, but we also want some family time and time away from the farm as well. I think it's important, obviously, to get away and have a refresher. We're back now. We feel good. So, hey, we lost a couple plants. We were able to replace a few at least with actually much nicer plants. So you could even look at that as a win. All right, where to next, Bray?
What?
Where to next?
What?
What do you want to do next?
I want to feed the sheepies.
Well, what do the sheep eat?
The sheepies. What do the sheep eat? Grass.
Yeah, so we don't feed them, right?
Can we feed the chicken?
We don't feed the chickens either, right?
What do they eat?
They eat bugs and worms and all sorts of stuff.
Well, we can actually feed them too.
We could, yeah. We feed them a little bit sometimes.
Can we feed them a little bit now?
I actually don't even have chicken feed. They'll eat some of the piggy feed. So while we're making our rounds, I'll just show you what I'm talking about. This bed right here behind me, our first bed here in our new part of the garden, that was all tomatoes, probably 6 or so, spaced out every 2 feet, whatever you'd space them. You can see I have a couple in here, some makeshift stakes. It's just your poly fence posts. Those are the new ones that we put in. They look pretty good, a little on the yellow side, but that's a little bit of transplant shock. That's all that is. They'll green up here once I get some mulch and some fertilizer, get some soil amendments in there. This next row, same type of deal. It was all tomatoes. So we left here, we had about, I don't know, what would you say, about 20 tomato plants, 20, 25 maybe even. And I'm saying to my wife when we're planting them, I'm like, we're gonna have tomatoes for forever. We're thinking about what we can do with them, freezing them, making salsa, so forth, canning, whatever, sauce. Anything you can do with tomatoes. Well, they were all about a foot tall, maybe a little more, some of them. We come back and literally the first thing I noticed was we have bare dirt here. Looks like we're pretty much in a desert now because everything's dry and completely vanished. So here we are, we're back to the drawing board as far as the tomatoes. Like I said, we were lucky enough to be able to pick up a couple. I actually got these tomatoes that are, they're a couple feet tall. Got them for $1 a piece from a local grower, which was outstanding that we're able to still find them. And then we still got all the other stuff coming in. The weird thing is that all of our cucumbers, the squash, we got some peppers here. They're all doing well. So oddly enough, whatever it was went after the tomatoes and really nothing else. Over on this side, we did lose some cabbage, but I mean, if it was a rabbit, you definitely would think some of this lettuce, and we got a bunch of lettuce up there. You would think that would all be, chewed off, and it's not. So
it is.
It is?
Yeah.
The garden's a work in progress anyway. I don't claim to be an expert gardener. I definitely think I have more of a passion for raising animals, but the gardening is important to us. It's something I'd like to get back to what we had a few years ago when we had a rocking garden. Just hasn't been the case because and Bray's yelling at the dog. Just hasn't been the case with all the new additions with the animals, the sheep and the pigs in recent years, and doing all that type of stuff, fencing. So we're planning on putting a fence in now. I know it's hindsight. You wait till you have a problem and you put a fence in. Not the best strategy for you guys if you're starting out, but it's going to be 4x4s with either welded wire or chicken wire. Haven't quite decided on the exact design, but needless to say, we'll try to make it look nice. If you're going to do something like that and you're going to spend money, which I really didn't want to spend right now, that's what you got to do. You got to make it right the first time, so you're not coming back and having double the expense. I know there are some prickles in here, aren't there?
Yeah.
You can see our path. This is usually a wide open path. I usually try to keep this pretty nice walking over to our chickens. Again, the growth has just been crazy. Week leading up to our trip, we made sure we got everything mowed and weed whacked pretty good, but it wasn't perfect. Obviously, as we're rushing around, I had a big week of work that week and then trying to pack and everything. So we got the farm to where it needed to be. We went away and now we come home and we play catch up. See what we got in terms of eggs. I did get a bunch this morning, so there might only be...
Can I hold eggs?
Oh, there's more eggs than I can hold and more eggs than you can hold, Bray. All right, so we got 4 eggs. You wanna hold yours up? 5 eggs. Don't drop it, all right?
Okay.
And while we're walking up through the sheep pasture, I figure I'll show you guys Oh gosh, this skull. That skull's starting to really be nasty, but it's doing what it's supposed to do.
Okay, don't let it fall in the breakers.
Don't fall. Hopefully I don't fall walking up through here.
But, well, you're not gonna fall. So.
You don't think? I've fallen many times on camera.
What?
Or at least tripped.
What did you say?
I said I've tripped many times on camera when I'm videoing. All right, so we're up here at the top of our sheep pasture. This is where they're at right now. Again, guys, this is where the pigs were, completely cleaned out. So you can see the type of growth we've had this spring. They're grazing it down pretty good, but where I just had them, if you guys have followed our channel, our winter pasture was completely overgrazed. It literally almost looked like I don't want to say a golf course, but to put it into perspective of how short the grass is, that's what it was. This is what it is right now. Look how high this grass is in maybe, I think, like I said, about 2 weeks, probably. 2 weeks, this grass is up over my knees. Actually even has some seed heads, things like that. It's almost like it was never even touched. So obviously I don't want to move them back that quickly. You know, the manure load hasn't even broken down yet, and being that they were on there for several months, I don't want to put them over there. The sheep heard us. Now they're gonna join us. Here they come. You see them? So anyway, they're in here for a little bit longer. The projects have built up, so I still haven't gotten them over into the new pasture like I'd like to. But I'm thinking my next step might be to take them into last year's summer pasture and our newer pasture that we seeded. Used to be Christmas trees, and now it's freshly seeded grasses here, which is going to be this whole hillside. So pretty large area here. Again, we just don't have enough animals right now, and I'm realizing that quickly, which I guess that's a good problem to have. You'd rather have not enough animals than not enough pasture. You can at least go through, you can mow this. Forgive me, I'm kind of pointing with my eggs. My wife always makes fun of me the way I point anyway, so this might kind of curb that behavior a little bit. But anyway, if you don't have enough animals, you can at least go through and mow this. You can hay it, do whatever you want to do there. Rake some of that up. Spot, what are you looking at, bud?
They're getting me.
If you simply have too many animals for the amount of land you have, well, you're gonna have some big issues. And if you're trying to raise them as holistically and as naturally as we are, 100% on grass, it's not gonna work if you're overgrazing your land. So we're in the process of looking for animals. I found a couple that I'm definitely in contact with. I think the one may have unfortunately sold when we were on vacation. The other, a ram lamb and a ewe lamb. Not really all that interested in the ram lamb, although he can be something that we end up turning over this year and processing him. So some ideas there, just to get some more grazing going on. Obviously we got to be careful as June kind of winds on and the month gets a little hotter and we get into summer more. We hit a drought and our circumstances can change quickly. But with only 6 animals, we definitely have a little wiggle room there. Bray, you have anything to add?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell everyone where we were?
Yeah.
Where were we?
That's the beach.
We were at the beach, yes. So we were away. We went away to Virginia Beach. For us, it's a 6-hour drive. With a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. It was definitely exciting to say the least, the drive. But we had a blast. The kids had a blast. So definitely a great vacation. Put a short up last night, kind of recapping where we were at and saying we're back to the farm now. So anyway, we understand we've been rambling, walking around the farm, doing the nightly chores. I guess the lesson to this whole thing and kind of my message is you definitely can do all this stuff. You definitely can get away. Don't feel like you have to be trapped by your property or your farm, your animals. Obviously, it helps having family nearby, but there's definitely ways you can develop systems. As long as your animals survive, quite frankly, that's all that matters. Anything else can be either replaced or caught up with. If we have a little extra mowing, a little extra weed whacking, it's a sacrifice you take to get away with the family and enjoy some family time, which I think everybody would agree is much needed, very important in a lot of ways for a lot of reasons, and it was well worth it. And it's just a beautiful night back on the farm. As I mentioned, always nice to get away, but sometimes it's also just equally as great to get home. And like I mentioned, we got a lot of grazing land that is really growing high. So hopefully some more animals in our future. Hopefully we get some of this grass under control a little bit. Getting some more grazing done will certainly help. Finish up some of these projects that we have going around. You can see down, I still have our sheep shelter way down there that I started, showed you guys kind of a teaser, and it hasn't moved since. So we'll electrify this fence, we'll get that done, we'll get the garden fence done, and say it all the time about 50 other things. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed just kind of hanging with us tonight. First night really back here. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate all your support. Just crossed 1,400 subscribers today, guys, so I can't say it enough. I thank you for all your support. To say a year ago, it's almost a year, in July. To say a year ago we'd be at this point in less than a year. I just, thank you. Thank you for following along. Thank you for all your interest in our farm. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, suggestions, throw them our way. We'll be happy to get back to you, happy to help you start your own journey. I think it's so important that you at least take a small step in producing some of your own food. So if you need any help, let us know as always. And once again, guys, thanks for watching. Enjoy the beautiful evening.